Hello, hello, hello. Hey, I'm David Anthony, aka WebDave, my gamer tag, and this is Outbreak Gamers. And I'm very honored to have with me today N64 Josh. Buddy, what's going on?
What is happening? So stoked to be here.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. I know we tried to work this out a couple days ago, and had a family thing come up, and you were so gracious to reschedule for today. So thank you very much for doing that. I really appreciate it.
Like I said, I'm really excited to chat. So no problem at all.
Well, cool. Well, cool. Well, let's get into it. I guess kind of to start things off. Basically, the show is a an influencer series, and you're definitely an influencer. I know sometimes get a little modest, but definitely. So with that,
I'm
um,
only a bad influence. Let's be real.
I like that. I like that a lot. So with that, let's kind of get started. I guess what kind of jobs have you had in your life? Because sometimes I find that interesting to find out a little bit more about you.
This is only an hour-long show.
Okay, I'll let you be
I'll
the
give you the quick
editor.
version. Are you
Yeah,
ready?
there
Are you
works.
ready?
Yeah,
In high school, out of high school, worked on a dairy farm.
cool.
Okay, that's where I grew up on one.
Yeah,
From the dairy farm, managed a coffee shop for a little bit, worked in a cabinet shop for a little bit, and then went into residential construction. Did that for quite a while. Then went into cabinets full time for a while. Then went into ministry full time for 2 years.
there you
Then
go.
to commercial construction. Then to cabinets. Now and sprinkled in there, I'd also work in refineries, doing what's called heat treating. And basically, you'd heat up welds so that they would trick them into thinking they were actual metal. And now I am a content and marketing manager for a startup out of Boston called Beamable, and we help game
Awesome.
makers make games faster. And so that was that quick enough? I think that
That
was
was
quick enough.
that was good. That was
Good.
good.
All
We,
right.
we got a lot to unpack there, but we won't unpack too much. But all I can say is amen. I'm just kidding. So, but no. But that's cool, dude. That's cool. And that's something that I would never have known if you didn't ask, right? That's
For sure. Yeah.
that's one of those things. That's why I like to, kind of dig around. So let's get into your gaming. Obviously, you have the N64. Josh is your namesake. But like, I mean, what kind of what got you into gaming? How did you start into gaming? What was your first experience, I guess, with gaming?
Yeah, well, I mean, I was like an arcade rat, and the Atari 2600 is actually where I started. Wearing the Atari hat. Yeah, I love it.
Oh yeah,
Love it. I mean, I was very, very young, at least, when I was playing that, probably like 2, 3 years old, right? Maybe 4 years old.
rub it in, Josh. I'm just kidding.
Basically, no, no, no. But yeah, I mean, started very, very young in the arcades and stuff. And then I remember one fateful day while
Hmm.
I was swimming at the lake at my grandmother's house. My step cousin brought over this machine that kind of looked like a VCR that would open up, and he had this gold cartridge. And I felt the heavens open, and I heard, oh, and I was like, what is this? What is this glorious cartridge that I'm looking at? And I put it in and closed the door and hit the power button. And all of a sudden, the arcade was in my grandmother's living room. And I was like, I could hear my mom yelling, come back outside. You got to be swimming. It's nice out, And I'm like, I don't think you understand what's happening in this room right now. There is magic on this screen. And I got to run around with Link for a very short period of time, immediately fell in love with Nintendo.
Yeah.
And my aunt happened to take notice. And mind you, like, I thought the Nintendo was cool. I might have even asked for it, but I wasn't expecting it, My
Hmm.
that Christmas did gifts with my parents. There was no Nintendo. It was fine. I was happy. I can vividly remember watching my aunt, my uncle, and my grandmother walk to the house while staring out the window, and they had a big box. And I remember immediately going and checking that box, and it said to the family. And I was like, well, no Nintendo for me, whatever, we're good. And I remember just being, fine with it. And then we got done with everything. They sat us down on the couch, and my sister's next to me. and we ripped into this thing, and it was the, the power set with the gray zapper. It's the only zapper that there is. And
There you go.
and the rest is kind of history. Begged my dad to hook it up. He's like, not till after we eat. It was the longest lunch I've ever experienced. And then, started playing Mario, and then getting mad I couldn't get past World 1, 2. But I mean, that's kind of where it all started, honestly.
That's cool. That's cool. So I guess in your gaming, then I guess did you go on to other systems, or?
Yeah. So I mean, I remember getting the SNES. That was one I begged and begged for, and I did get that the year it launched.
Nice.
It is worth noting that I did get to experience the chip shortage of Super Mario Brothers 2. Like, I saved birthday money, and it was in my mom's purse, and she would check every single time. And that was a rough few months there. That was a rough go. But yeah, so Super Nintendo, loved it. I had a really good friend in my neighborhood who was kind of like the rich kid, and he had everything, the Genesis, Super Nintendo back in the day. And so I would get to experience a lot of the Sega games. Probably on the playground, though. I definitely would have defended the plumber over the blue blur or whatever.
Yeah. I'm with you.
But yeah, so I was always Nintendo. I remember the 64 was like the first console I bought. Like, I was in high school when that was out, and I was working quite a bit. So I remember going, and I still get mocked for this, because I bought Mario Kart and GoldenEye and didn't buy Mario 64. But I was just thinking multiplayer. I was just thinking, like, I just wanted to play multiplayer stuff. Now, I then went on and like got Star Wars, the Shadows of the Empire, and
love that game.
Ocarina of Time, that kind of thing. But I never went back. I didn't beat Mario 64 until like 2 years ago. That was
there you go.
Yeah.
At least you did it.
Yeah, on a lot of my shows, when I'm interviewing somebody, I'm like, what's the game that we're all going to judge you for that you haven't beat yet or played? So it's one of my go-to questions because of that. So GameCube is a really cool story. I was newly married. My wife was saving tips from that coffee shop that we were working at. Talked to all of our family and friends, and together we're able to get me the GameCube. Like, each house had the different accessory or game, whether another controller or memory cards, all that kind of stuff. So that was pretty great. And then I moved on to Xbox as well, because I was so sure that Perfect Dark was going to be the Halo killer, and then Microsoft bought Rare, and I was like, well, So I loved me some Time Splitters 2 on the GameCube. But then I fell in love with Halo. And then, Nintendo went an interesting kind of casual direction for a while with the Wii, and then the Wii U was a marketing disaster. I was still playing their handhelds most of the time. I didn't get a Game Boy Color until like the late 90s. I was taking or early 2000s. I was taking a trip and picked one up, and so just still did some handheld gaming and stuff on Nintendo, but Xbox slowly took over, and kind of been an Xbox fan ever since. I did pick up the PS3 mainly to have a Blu-ray player, and then you can still play some games on it. And I love God of War. That was about it, though, as far as PlayStation titles. There wasn't really much else that really spoke to me. I'm hoping PS5's become a little more available this year, because I would love to continue experience the God of War games, as well as Last of Us and stuff like that. But yeah, Switch has been ultimately life-changing for me. I mean, I'm building community around it, playing Mario Kart on the regular, and the Series X is fantastic as well. I've always been a Halo fan, and sticking with Infinite, it's just it's been good.
That's awesome. So I guess your N64 Josh. I mean, that's what you're known as. So is that your gamer tag as well too?
It's everything. It's everything. It's my gamer tag. It's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all the above. I always throw in Farmers Only. I need to actually. I'm thinking about setting that account up, just because I always say it as a joke. And so,
oh goodness.
So yeah, maybe I'll set that up this week. Who knows? Like, see if I get it. I don't know if you can even get followers on a dating site, but we'll see.
Oh, that's pretty funny. It's pretty funny. Yeah. So I'm sorry, you just threw me really well that one. But in the I love it. But in the description down below, it's gonna have a list of all your social media links and your YouTube channel and all that stuff as well too. So don't fear, it's gonna be handy and close by as if you're watching this episode. So let's turn to I guess I guess at some point you started you said we talked pre-show that you've been on YouTube for, or I guess bit podcasting, I should say, for a long time. How'd you get started? What motivated you to do that?
Yeah, I've been in the content game for about 13 years. And I mean, we'll get a little bit deep here because something
That's
that's
good.
super important to me is like mental health.
Yeah.
And I think it's very relevant to all of this stuff. Um, I grew up for the longest time hanging on to a lot of limiting beliefs, like
Hmm.
that I wouldn't amount to anything. I had a number of people tell me that when I was very young, and I believed it.
Wow.
And and not my parent, like my parents were great. It was like, kids in school
Right.
and stuff like that. So it was just kind of something. It wasn't until therapy recently that I realized, like, yo, I've basically held on to this and had to let it go. And my God, like, is it so freeing? So,
Awesome.
but yeah, so 13 years ago, I was like, you know what? It's time for me to. I love being on stage. I'm a musician. You can see a guitar sitting behind me there, and I've been the front man of
Same here.
bands. Yeah, see, I love it. I love it. I've drummed. I've played bass. Whatever I needed to do. I love music. I love performing. I love being in front of people.
Nice.
And so I was like, well, I want to get an online business going. So I started a photography blog. I was like,
Cool.
actually, this is super cool, man. You know what Mackie soundboards are, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Mackie's just down the road from me. So me and a buddy went to Mackie and pulled 20 boards out of their dumpsters and Frankenstein 3 of them together that we sold for about $3,000 each. And then
Wow.
we bought our cameras with that money and started shooting weddings and stuff.
That's awesome.
And so then I started a website and a podcast and everything called Photography Tips HQ, and just started creating content. And I remember, like, this, I think it was like the Technology Dad podcast or something. This guy reached out to me. I have no clue how he even found me right back then.
Right.
And that was the catalyst for me to, like, I had all this music gear together. So I used to podcast into a bass drum microphone for the longest time. And
Nice.
like the Beta 92 or something like that, or one Beta.
All right.
Yeah, something, or 52, I think, Beta 52. Anyway, so it started with that. And then I was like, man, I've always been passionate about gaming. Why don't I just start doing gaming stuff, right? Because the passion was kind of fizzling for the photography. I wasn't like, I had some really great, like, I was an affiliate for an ebook. It was, again, kind of a cool story.
Yeah.
Ran a Facebook ad for $40, made $600 in a night.
Wow.
From that $40 ad. It was cool because I sent my phone to the email. I highlighted it as VIP, but then made it the Mario coin every time. And it sounded like Mario was just punching that block over and over again.
That's awesome.
Well, then I took that money and bought the Xbox One, the day one Xbox One. It was right in that time frame. So,
Right.
all signs were pointing to gaming, right? And so
Yeah.
I eventually started, like, another website under the N64, like it was n64gaming.com, I think. And then I interviewed indie devs, 30 in 30 days. And
Nice.
like, just went ham on that. But I'm like, this really doesn't fit. The branding is all off, right? Sometimes when you're all about action, you go a little too fast and you got to pump the brakes. And
Yeah.
so I eventually I got really into Destiny, started the lootcave.com. The Lootcast was a thing. Ended up connecting with the guys from the Dads of Destiny, which then became Aim Assist Gaming. And so I was on that show for quite a few years, and just kept the N64 Josh name, and eventually switched my gamer tag over to it and everything like that. And then the Switch was announced I started the Nintendo Powercast and I've been creating content around Nintendo and some Xbox stuff. I also do like the Halo Infinite podcast, but a lot of Nintendo stuff, a lot of I just work, man. I just work. And
That's good. That's good.
And I mentioned about mental health and stuff. The last 4 months for me have been by far the most exciting in this journey ever. And a huge part of that is therapy. It's working out. And there's something I hear continually, that your vibe brings your tribe. And I have the best community ever. Like it's like a family. I love these people.
That's
And
awesome.
some have been with me for years. Others are brand new. And it's like, there's not even words. There's not even words. Like my heart is full.
That's awesome, dude. That is awesome. That's good to hear, man. Like I said, I've known you, just a short time. But I mean, sometimes you can just tell when somebody's a good dude, and
I appreciate it.
Oh, dude, you
And likewise.
definitely. Well, thank you. You have no idea. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. I did hear a joke earlier. I was like, wait a minute.
I got a few of them. Hello. Shoot. But yeah, when I was on the radio, it got censored a few times, but that was the good old days. But it does happen. It does happen. Never got an FCC strike. Thank God.
Yeah, there you go.
Or my career would have been over.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's cool though, man. So let's talk about the show you do now. That's a really big part. I mean, how often is it on? What kind of coverage do you have? What's the kind of the format or the gist of your the show that you do?
Yeah, so the Nintendo Powercast, it has evolved so much over time. Like, it used to be like once a week, let's cover the news topics,
Mm-hmm.
But there's a million shows that do that, right?
Right.
And so it's even hit lows where I'm just like, I don't even know if I want to talk about Nintendo anymore. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And so we literally would play golf and just talk. Like, we would play Mario Golf and talk, so that we could just keep some, just have some fun. Cause I just wasn't, it was and the reviews show, like, there's a few reviews that are like, why are they even a Nintendo show? It's funny. It's funny. Right. But I mean, I'm like, I can't throw in the towel. I've put too much work in. I gotta do what's fun for me. Right. And so currently we have one major show that we would do live on Thursday nights at 9 p.m. Pacific, 12 a.m. Eastern.
Mm-hmm.
And it's myself, my boy Nightcrawler 724, Johnny Bo, and Cheesy C64. And Crawler and I have been he kind of just got involved in the community, playing Mario Kart with me, hanging out.
Mm-hmm.
And then eventually became a guest on the show, and then eventually a co-host. And then Johnny and Cheesy I met via TikTok. Like another podcaster, content creator, Mulehorn Gaming, he tagged me in a comment on Johnny Bo's TikTok saying, "Yo, I need Nintendo friends." And I was like, "You are my people. Let's be friends." And
I love it.
And the rest is kind of history. And so, but the show's even evolving right now. Like, I'm of the mind that put out as much content as possible. So also to put out keyword rich content and stuff, because I'm finding as I do longer form shows that have multiple topics, it's a little tougher to get those to rank. Well, if I can take one piece of breaking news or some video that drops and just kind of do a 10-minute overview, breakdown, that kind of thing, it's great. It allows me to get more content out. And so I've had co-hosts come and go. Currently there's one that I met on Xbox Live when we were super young, when it was brand new. Yeah. And due to life circumstances, he can't record in the evenings anymore. So we do a NPC in the morning, and we'll do one of those, and I'll do single shows, and I'll just start grabbing random people from the community and do interview shows that way. I mean, at one point, man, I had the Nintendo Power Cast, the Smash Bros. Cast, the Animal Crossing podcast. Like, I'm on a Star Wars show called the Bendu Cast. I'm on Halo Infinite podcast. Like, I do a show called Press Pause. Like, it goes the Xbox Factor podcast. You know, I had
Yeah,
another
yeah,
show that I was starting called Xbox and Now podcast, and that was my own. So like, I'm a workhorse,
that's good.
and I like to put out the content. I've pulled things back a little bit because as you start to feel like butter spread over too much bread, the
Right,
quality can be hindered, and so
right,
you kind of just focus in on the stuff that's working, and but so many great opportunities and cool things have happened because of all this.
right, right, right. So, so you to get back to what you talked about your kind of mental health, where you're at now with that. So, was a, and I don't want to get too personal. This is not, it's not, you can word it however you need to, but is it like, was it an event, or was it just kind of a, you know, I need to talk to somebody? How did you actually start to, I guess, reach out and you know, and seek out? I've been through a therapist before in my lifetime,
Yeah.
and you know, definitely needed to, and it helped me get through a tough time in my life when I was younger. So you know, some people, you know, will mock or whatever. There was absolutely nothing better than getting the help you need to get yourself in the right mindset. You know.
I saw a friend who went through something very similar.
Hmm.
Kind of seeing therapists to undo some of the stuff that had been done to him via the church, unfortunately.
Hmm.
And uh and talked to him a few times, and then finally I was at an all-time low.
Right.
Things were bad, you know, like bad, very dark place.
Right.
And which is my heart has always been to do my very best that whoever I reach doesn't end up feeling the way I felt in my past, right? And
Right.
so through that, I still never saw myself in a positive light. I saw myself as somebody pushing rather than leading,
Right.
right? And even though I've always felt like a very like just a natural leader, and now that I'm healthy and I love myself, and I'll talk to a random person in the gym and be like, "Oh, you know," somebody was like, "Oh, they're doing a bunch of building out in Anacortes," and I'm like, "Oh, that's where my therapist is." You know, like I will try to get that conversation started with anybody because
Nice.
I don't care about any stigmas or anything like that. Like I'm I'm proof that it worked. I can't say it's
Right.
going to be true for everybody. I have no idea, but I'm just about seeing people in just enjoy their life. It's so short, and I spent a lot of years, probably, I mean, 10 years in pretty deep depression that
Right.
I'll never get back. I'll never get back. And so if I can help somebody not have to feel that,
Hmm.
that's what I'm here for, man.
Well, that's, dude, that's awesome, and I'm really glad to hear that. And like I said, known you a short time, and you're definitely putting off some good, positive vibes, and you are definitely a leader among men now. So that's all I can say.
I
So,
appreciate that. I really do.
oh, no worries, dude. No worries. All right, so let's get into, I guess, how did you get on with Boom Show? We love Boom here, of course, because I'm on a show too. Yay!
Yeah, you know, I think so. Longtime friend goes by
Hmm.
Lady AF on
Oh
Twitter.
yes. Yep.
Okay. I used to do a show. This is okay. I
Let's get into it.
this is gonna get we're gonna get into a little bit. And
That's good.
like I'm scrappy when it comes to content. My first videos, literally that camera that I bought, I would
Mhm.
set that up, hit record, and then I had a capture card that would take an SD card and hit record on that at the same time, and I would play and record myself and then take it into post and make it look like picture in picture. Right? Like
Cool.
that's how I started my first videos, because I was like, I don't have the means to like to set up a computer next to my consoles and all that stuff. So I'm
Right.
like, I'll figure it out, right? Well, then
Awesome.
you could stream on Twitch via Xbox. And I was like, oh, here's how I will create shows. And so I would hit go live. I would immediately start the show. It was called Guardians Strike Back via Destiny, right? And
Right.
I would get 2 Guardians to run and do a strike with me, and I would interview them. And we would just talk like we're doing now while playing through the strike, and she happened to be one of them. So fast forward, we've
That's
still been
cool.
friends for a very long time.
Hmm.
And she is involved with like Mav, fun
Yeah. Yeah.
speculation
That's where I
and
know her from.
yeah, and that crew, right? And
Hmm.
so she and her, once I got my Series X and I was like, yo, I'm gonna start making some Xbox content. Built the website for Xbox Now and started the YouTube channel and all that stuff. She was like, you need to meet Mav and this crew. And so Pong and 3-bit and stuff. There's just so many great people in that community.
Yes.
And then that got me introduced. I mean, to be honest, like my brain is kind of foggy. There was so much stuff happening so fast that I think some like, Mav probably introduced us. I'm just
Hmm.
guessing. Maybe it was Pong. I don't even know at this point when it
Right.
came to
Right.
Boom. All of a sudden I'm on Boom's show. And I was like, well, Boom, come on my show too. He came and did a spot on NPC.
Awesome.
And then that was on Thursday mornings. And then Boom was like, yo, I'm too busy. Thursdays is going away. And I was like, cool, man. So I just went and did my own thing. And that's that. It was what it was. And
Yep.
then 2 weeks ago, he was like, hey, I really liked you on Thursdays and we have open spots. So come back. And I'm like, I got you, baby. So
Nice.
here we are
Nice.
back at it again.
Well, good. Well, it's really good seeing you back on the show. And well,
I
any
appreciate it.
content that booms. Oh, dude. Like I said, it's the show is benefits from you being on it. So it's awesome. Like I said, you have really good takes. You have good sometimes I feel like I'm like okay. When it comes to my, he'll I love Boom to death. And he'll get in his big thing and he'll be like, and WebDave, what do you think? And I'm just like, yes. I'm just kidding. I can usually, get my way through it. But
Well,
I do
I
admire
got VJ on that same panel, and so
my
I'm
God,
like, I got to
yes.
get my chops up to keep up with this guy because that man is like a wordsmith, and
He is.
I'm like,
And he's super cool and super chill, which is really cool.
yes,
But yeah, he's got some hot takes sometimes too.
yeah,
I don't even actually I don't even know if I could get him on this show since he doesn't really. That's the only thing he really does is Boom's show. He
right.
doesn't do his own content. He's even said, I don't really do my own content. I do your show, and it's like oh, it's gonna be hard to get him on there. One of these days, I'm gonna try and sweet talk him in. Maybe I'll do some kind of roundhouse of a few people that like 2 or 3 people that don't necessarily have their own
Stuff.
stake in it, but yet they
Yeah, yeah.
still do, still provide, some, we'll have to see how that goes. So I guess let's get into some of the current gaming news, if you don't mind. What as far as like going on in gaming that you're, I guess, most interested in, or a topic that you think is like something worth talking about.
Yeah, I mean, it's been crazy, right? Because I've covered news a
Hmm.
lot, right? And I mean, the biggest news for me today, Halo Infinite Season 2,
Yeah.
right? They were showcasing that. I was watching that for a little bit, and it you could see the passion of the team,
Hmm.
and you can see that they're as frustrated as we are,
Right.
and you just feel like they like I don't know. We've talked about it on the Halo Infinite podcast. It's like,
Yeah.
do they need to clean house with leadership? Maybe do they like are they understaffed for the size of project they're trying to do?
Right.
Is there not more outsourcing that could happen? Like something just doesn't seem quite right with a company this big. You know what I mean?
Right.
And
Right. And
I'm
then maybe the
excited for
pandemic
season
really hit
two.
them hard. I don't know, but
And maybe that's the case too. And I mean, I've got friends they're working on it.
yeah.
They've been there. Some of them been there since 5. Some of them had just started, not
Hmm.
right before the pandemic hit, and so yeah, excited to see what season 2 has to hold. I
Hmm.
hope it holds everybody's attention, for the 3 months, so we'll just have to see, and I'm excited to see what changes they've made and what improvements are there, and
Hmm.
fingers crossed.
Yeah. Same here. Same here. I'm looking forward to to co-op. I mean, some people say, it's like, well, maybe they should have waited, and I'm like, as much enjoyment out of got a single player, and how much I do like playing multiplayer with friends and stuff. I'm glad they went ahead and did it, but I wish I wish there was more content coming. Like dust off one of the old ones. Let's let's get Blood Gulch in there. I don't know, so yeah,
Yes.
something.
Yeah.
Sidewinder was one of my favorite maps. I think that was from the first, from the first
Halo
actual
1.
game. Yeah, Halo
Yeah.
One, right?
Yeah. Same
Um,
with Blood Gulch.
yeah, well, yeah, there you go, there you go.
What
So I
like what would you like besides those two is there any other things that you're like, man, I really wish they would do this or that?
um I've often thought, because I know, and this may seem silly, because I know they don't like do the, the like, because everybody has their own cosmetics and stuff. But I wish there was a, and now, like, this may sound dumb, but I'm going to throw it out there anyway. You ask. So I wish there was um, like a red versus blue thing you could do, where you could be on, maybe get randomized or whatever, and no matter what your gear and your cool armor is, somebody's red, some people in the team are blue, and you do a capture the flag, traditional type capture the flag, and then maybe even because I know, like, Bernie Burns and all them, they did a lot of stuff with Microsoft, or in Xbox at the time, to to help them get their content, especially when Halo 2 came out, and they, Red vs. Blue TV series. I met Bernie a couple times, worked for GameStop, so I met him at a couple of our conventions, and super nice, man, just super cool. But God, there's some of the stuff was still funny to this day. I could put on a season 1 of Red versus Blue in the
Yes.
background and be like, just waiting for the next line, and be like, it's so awesome.
I
Yeah.
just introduced one of my moderators to it.
Oh, cool.
He had never heard of it before, and I was like, well, like, because we're kind of kicking around the idea of doing something kind of like that within Mario Kart, since that's what
Yeah, that'd be
there's so
cool.
many cool camera angles you can pull off in Mario Kart and slow
Hmm.
motion
Oh
to
yeah.
like as I drive by and hit somebody, like to throw out some some
Snarky
trash talk.
lines.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
And so we've been kicking around this idea, and I'm like, it's like Red versus Blue. He's like, what's that? I'm like, oh my god, I cannot wait. And he was just busting up just listening to, like, why are we here, man? You know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Exactly. Uh, yeah. Is this some mythical creature you're making up? Was that Chippa thingy? Is that it, Griff? Oh God, I love that.
Sheila.
Exactly. And what's that look like? Looks like a puma.
Right.
And he's like, "What?" Oh man. So yeah, a lot of great memories, a lot of great lines, and yeah, it was. That's just some funny shit, man.
Yeah.
I don't care, man. God, and there was at the time too. There was um, YouTube videos of people, like, that would do. I don't know if it was, I call it stunt stuff, but like, they would, everybody in the group, or everybody on the landline that they were recording it, was all set up for the thing. Like, they would, like, line up. Everybody would
Yes.
line up in a row, and then they'd shoot one, and they'd all fall and
Yep.
stuff like that. Or one of my favorites to this day, if I see it again, I know I'd piss myself laughing, is the playing the Willy Wonka Oompa Loompa, when they
Yeah.
where they were doing the the teabagging, but they would, like, do it in order to the song, and it was like they would, like, do their own montage of the
Oh
Oompa
yeah.
Loompas, and it was
Yeah.
like, I don't know why, but it was just hilarious to me. So
I,
anyway,
I loved when they would, like, you could have a bunch of people die in one spot, and it would pile up grenades,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
then they put a warthog on it and shoot it and just launch it right across the map, and they try to get it into the hole of the base on Blood Gulch. Like,
yeah,
that kind of stuff was amazing. Like, I just love watching people get creative with stuff like that. So fun.
yeah, yeah, exactly. I'm right there with you, man. That was those were some crazy stuff they used to do. So I guess that actually would be cool if you end up doing the Mario Kart adventures, whatever you want. Let me
Yeah,
know
yeah.
because I definitely want to see those, man. I think it'd be funny. You got
Oh,
a good idea, and I think you can do it.
absolutely. And I got a great team that's interested in getting on board with it too. So like we've got there's some good talent in my mod crew. So it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Very nice. And of course, I mean, from where you started, where you're talking about your picture in a picture look
Yeah.
to the ability you have today to edit and stuff, it's come a long way. You should be able to pull it off with no problems, right?
Oh yeah, relative ease. Yeah.
There you go. There you
Yeah,
go.
it'll be because I had one of them asking me like, "There's no way I'm going to be able to keep a straight face knowing how funny you guys are," and I'm like, "Well, that's fine. You'll have your own audio track, so I'll be able to mute you if I need to, you know." So
Oh, there you go. There you go. Yeah, that's gonna be awesome, man. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing that. I'll just tell you that right now, Josh.
yeah,
That sounds
sneak
pretty
peek.
cool.
Yeah, I mean, I've
Yeah.
not even talked about it anywhere else. So here you go.
There we go. Better copyright it quick. I'm
Yeah,
just kidding.
better.
Take that domain name soon. I'm just kidding. That's pretty cool. That will be good. So I guess what let's get back into to a little bit of gaming. Let's talk about so what kind of I guess what a game would you say that's coming out that you're most looking forward to? It can be something, obviously something that's at least because you may have some privy insight to something that hasn't been announced yet. We'll keep it to the privy of that people would know about that's coming. So what's some of the games you're looking forward to this year?
One of the games I'm really looking forward to is Mario Strikers on the Switch.
Oh
Like,
yeah, yeah.
I don't know if you remember playing those on GameCube or Wii,
Hmm.
but like fantastic games. Hoping this is no different, and really excited to for the studio that is putting it together is a different studio that did than the studio that did Aces and Super Rush, and
Mm,
so not that those were bad games. I just don't feel like they were like quite. I enjoyed both of them, but they weren't that well received. I wouldn't say so. Really hoping that Strikers is. I It's weird, but since the Switch came out, I started getting into JRPGs. Xenoblade Chronicles 3
oh yeah.
got pushed up and is going to be coming out in July. Splatoon, I mean, being a shooter fan like I am,
Hmm.
like really looking forward to that. And it's a strange time for me with gaming. Like I was
Hmm.
talking about this on Boom Show, like I only play when I'm making content. Like last night, I actually sat and played Halo for an hour and a half because they're taking away the tank gun glitch, and I want to get lasso with that gun. And I
Yeah,
found
yeah.
out yesterday that as long as you have the gun in your legendary save, that won't go away.
Nice.
So in your last, but getting through the first two, like the first mission with lasso, not going to be something I'm looking forward to. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
like it's
Yay.
yeah, it's going to be a chore.
That
So
is gonna be, yeah.
uh but yeah, so it's I mean, to be perfectly honest with you, I bought Kirby, I bought Pokemon Arceus, I bought Star Wars Legos, I bought Project
Dude,
Triangle.
those are
Project
great games.
Triangle not opened, sitting behind me on my guitar chair.
Yeah.
Star Wars Legos, played one time, thought it was great.
Mhm.
Kirby, I made it 3 worlds in, played it more than once. Think it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Pokemon, got a good amount of time in it.
Yeah.
But man, I'm just having so much fun building community with Mario Kart, and the way they've set it up, I'm having a ton of fun because I'm now creating TikToks letting people know, "Hey, I need your help because
Nice.
we're trying to see how many people we can get in the tournament each week." And so our highest is 377. And so I want to see, like, I'm just documenting this Mario Kart journey.
Yeah, yeah.
And and so it's I've just been playing a lot of Mario Kart. I do host a Smash Bros tournament that's happening this Saturday.
Very
And
cool.
and yeah, so
Okay, so, Josh, you were talking about, TikTok. So, like, how big is, TikTok for you now? What's going on with that?
TikTok, literally before we started the show, I was on a call with TikTok, and all I'm allowed to say is that I'm working with TikTok. That's it. That's all
That's good.
that's all
That's
I can
good.
say.
Oh, I don't want to get you in trouble. It's all good. That's all
Yeah.
good.
V I love it on that platform.
Yeah.
I'm sitting at around like 62,000 followers on there,
Nice.
and go live on there minimum 5 days a week for 2 hours.
Nice.
I talked to you, you know, we've mentioned kind of being scrappy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't have a stream key, so I can't just go live on TikTok from OBS. So I build my OBS scene, and then I point
Mm,
my phone at my computer screen so that they see me in vertical with my camera, my gameplay, and the code to race with me.
right.
And
Wow.
and then I turn on my studio monitors so that the sound comes through that way, and my mic is just the phone. I don't get to use my I don't get to use my expensive mic for that.
That's amazing.
So that's not always going to be the case. You know, there are
Right.
some
Right.
people with stream keys and stuff. So
I was
um
gonna say things keep growing for you. Maybe you can get that to the next level because that's I mean, it's awesome that you're willing to put in that kind of effort to to get that going and to grow that platform. That's awesome, dude. So
it
kudos to you.
you know what? It's I have so many kids and different people coming through that
Yeah.
are like, "How are you doing this?" I'm like this. And they're like, "Oh, I could do." And I'm like, "Look, even if you don't have any gear, like
Hmm.
it- it's crazy, boss, but like I play a DS game called
Yeah.
Wanted,
Hmm.
okay? It's like a mini game in Mario 64. One stream playing that game had 2,000 viewers and 150,000 people come through, okay?
On
On
TikTok.
TikTok. Yeah, more views in one stream on TikTok than my entire, at least the N64 Josh channel on Twitch. I streamed with another channel prior,
Yeah.
but more than the 5 years in one 2-hour stream.
Wow.
Yeah.
You had joked around earlier about farmers only.
Mhm.
So I'm thinking, you're gonna have one of those. Is that what is that called? Where they have it's an adult type stream. What is that called? I can't think of
Are
what
we
it's called.
I mean, are we
Are we gonna? Are we really
I
gonna say it?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Oh, yeah, he's playing it. I don't know what you're talking about, Dave. I don't have any of those kind of access to any of those shows. I guarantee there's somebody in the comments going, "Look, dumbass, it's this." Uh, I'm sure. I'm sitting here looking real quick because I know there's somebody. OnlyFans. Hello.
Okay.
Yeah, an OnlyFans page. Yeah. Spankme.com is already taken,
Yeah,
Josh. You can't get that one. Sorry.
man, okay.
Geez, so close.
Yeah.
Geez.
I thought
So
for a
so
second.
yeah, so video game OnlyFans. Yeah,
Yeah,
baby, come on.
video games only. There you go. We'll just
Video games
yeah,
only.
yeah.
Yeah, might not
No,
have the same weight.
probably
Unless you,
not.
like, come on, Josh, take your shirt off. Too
Right.
funny. Too funny.
$10.
Yeah. Talk about a super chat. But oh goodness, man. Dude, thank you so much for being on here today, man. I've had a lot of fun talking to you, and I look forward to seeing you and the more content and stuff that you have coming out. And you're a great guy, and I think everybody definitely should follow you on TikTok and every other platform that we're going to have listed below. They need to check it out. Don't miss an episode because you never know where his TikTok videos are going to go. That's all I'm saying. Could be a shirtless
Yeah.
episode in the
Beware.
future.
Beware. You never know.
Yeah.
You never
Now, if
know.
your viewer count goes up, because they'd be like, that's an idea. I'm just
Yeah,
kidding.
yeah, I'll make sure I send you a cut if
No, 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 no,
if the
no.
OnlyFans takes off, I will I, I might
That's
need a
so
photographer,
funny.
maybe we can talk.
Photography. Click, click. Know what I mean? He asked him knowingly. Oh, geez. Dude, you've been a blast. Thank you so much for being on here today, man. Tell everybody where they can reach you. I know it's going to be in the show notes, but I like to let everybody kind of say their piece. So where can everybody find you?
Yeah, I'm N64 Josh everywhere. Twitter, TikTok, Snapchat, all the places. It's all N64 Josh.
Nice. Well, thank you for everybody for viewing and watching us today. This is Outbreak Gamers. So you can find us at outbreakpodcast.com is our website. And then, of course, please like and subscribe as you see the big banner stuck up there. But and share this out with your friends. We've got a lot of great content already in the can. So if you enjoy these influencers one-on-one, and I know you did because this was a good one, then you definitely want to. You definitely want to check out some of the other influences I've got, and I got more coming all the time. And even a few what we would call major players in the game that are coming up. I've been in talks with several people that I'm like, they're like, we'll get back to you, and I'm like, ooh, well, that's not a no.
You're telling me there's a chance.
Exactly. All right, my motto. She's saying there's a chance. I'm just kidding. Yeah, gotta learn Japanese quick, but anyway, Josh, thanks again for being here, and thanks
Thank you for having me.
Awesome, man. Well, it was definitely a pleasure, man, and thank you for everybody here watching us on Outbreak Gamers.